Hey, Melly.
I'm sort of be out and about. I've got to go shopping and stuff, but I thought I'd just pop in, pop in for a little while.
Sure. Yeah. It's good
Yeah.
time. Good time. Okay. So, what do you want to tell me that I need to know?
What? I don't. What is it you're trying to? It just seems a little bizarre to
Okay.
me. That
Okay.
you want him to
What
sort
is
of
your,
lecture him. Sorry.
what is your question?
Um, I'm just trying to think. Why? What? I guess why you're doing it. What? I mean, why are you trying to teach him about church history?
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand. There's something I don't understand about Christianity. Okay. At the, at the
Uh-huh.
Ni- at the Nicene Creed,
Yeah.
let me try and do this. At the Nicene Creed,
Yeah.
they decided that God and Jesus Christ and a spirit of some sort were just one and the same, right?
Well, I wouldn't quite put it like that. I know what you're sort of aiming at, I think.
How would you put it?
Um, well, it must just be point. I think it was always there. What the idea that we believe in a triune God. It was just kind of given, was firmed up and put into, it was sorted out. And after being in existence for what? How long was the church in existence there? When we're talking 1400s, around about there, or earlier?
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
I think 13, 14. Anyway, I think that things had to be sort of formalized a bit.
No,
So,
well, okay, yeah. What was your question though?
well, basically, what I just find it interesting that you want to lecture, because I don't think G-Man would identify himself at all as Catholic.
Okay. My intention is not to identify G-Man as a Catholic. My
Mhm.
intention is to educate G-Man about the existence and the
Mhm.
views and the
Mhm.
views and the teachings of Marcion.
Okay.
And
Why
unless
would we know? Why would we want to know about Marcion?
that's a good question. Because Marcion believed that you believe that the triune God is they're all equal. God, Jesus, and a spirit, they're all equal, right?
Yes, we one.
All
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
So there are some before that Nicene Creed declared that orthodoxy. There were Christian teachings where God was the creator, was the father, and at one point Jesus was not. So Jesus came later. So Jesus, there's God, and then there's Jesus, and then there's the rest of us. So God is between us and Jesus
Mm.
and God. Okay, so
Mm.
that seems to be a fairly rational kind of way of looking at it. If I didn't have to push my brain to try and accept
Mhm.
that Jesus and God were the same thing, and it was quite clear that Jesus was born of God but is separate and all this kind of stuff, I might be a lot more charitable towards Christianity. But to make it irrational the way they did is something that number one, I can't understand why that's not the orthodoxy, but it isn't. But number two is to teach G-Man and others how Christianity is a bit of a hoax. There. Any other questions?
Okay. Um. Yeah. Well, I don't think it will sort of have that effect that we listen to what Marcion had to say way back when.
This is only.
And
I'm not. Mars is not the only one I'll be covering. This is a series. It's going to be a series.
okay,
It's not a very long one.
interesting. I mean, so you want to I don't know. It's like me trying to teach you about atheism, I guess. Sort of.
Well, if there's something I don't know, I'd love to know. Sure.
All right. The thing is, if you sort of, it seems that you want to sort of try get us. I mean, there's basic doctrines of the which are non-negotiable, which are part of the church, part of your belief. That you believe in as a Christian, right? So it's kind of, I don't know, and yeah, God doesn't make necessarily sense, isn't logical, is a spiritual being, a one-off. We don't really know that it's God at all. If I could work out what God is, like that's how God is. That's exactly how he is. So and so and so and so and so. So I don't think that it's possible for us humans as we are at the moment. There's nothing wrong with God being not logical.
Well, God doesn't exist. So
No, for you. Yes, I know, but we did.
there
As
you
a
go.
Christian,
So
I clearly believe he does. Huh?
if God doesn't exist,
Mhm.
what difference does it matter? What's the word? What he does? What makes up this God?
Right. Well,
Personality and where did this God come from? How did God all of a sudden appear from out of nowhere and you accept that
yeah.
something possible? I mean, there's a lot of questions, a lot of logical and if I use Bayesian logic, God, Bayesian logic, God would not exist.
Okay. Yeah, maybe so. I guess that's why he's God.
He's the alleged God or mythical God.
Yeah, but
Okay.
but that doesn't change. I mean, we know that you don't believe in God.
Okay.
But it's interesting that you want to teach us church history and so
because
by that convince us that that God doesn't exist. Fascinating.
It's entertaining. This is not. It's not like a credit course in university,
Right.
But it's also it's like the exact opposite of Von Helton's entertainment or his presentation of facts.
Right.
If I said something to you and I said Google it, you Google it and it would come up exactly what I said.
Okay.
Von Helton says Google it and it never comes up. Whatever.
And it's Google it. It's not something really that should be sufficient. Let's say if you're serious about what you find.
Not if you're going to go to details, but generally it's.
Yeah, for just once, but you should really check several sources. I think we've had this discussion before.
That's what AI does. It checks several sources.
Yeah, but I wouldn't rely on it. I mean, not to sort of like firm up something very important. No, sort of, well, that's what Google says. Right, that's it. I mean, a lot of.
Should we test it? You want to test it?
I do, and it's so that it's taught. It does, you have to.
I want to understand how Google works for me, but doesn't work for you. So let's test it in your way. All right. You ready?
Well, okay.
All right. So, what do you want to know? Let's do it this way. Let's ask AI something that you already know the answer to, and let's see what it says.
Right. Is that the best way of testing?
Sure. It's a control. We'll set up the control.
Okay. But okay, so Okay, I'm not trying not to do it with you. I'm just trying to think. Even you see, I don't think any of us should just take the top answer
Well, I'm not saying
of
we should.
Google.
I just want to see what comes back. And it's not
Okay.
the way Google artificial intelligence works. It's not like a page of choices. There's no like. It's like a conversation. Right, I'll show you. Come, ask. What question would you like to ask AI and see what the answer is? But you already know the answer. You can make it as complicated as you like.
Well, it's I don't know. What? Okay, so we ask him a question, and he comes up with, but that doesn't help. That's not helping. That's not really getting at what I'm trying to say. That's because even if you try,
I know, but you're speculating. Let's test it. Let's actually test it and see what happens. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Well, you choose something, because I don't. I know I would always look at 3 or 4, always, even if it gives the answer that I'm familiar with. Which wouldn't actually be a real life scenario, because I'd be asking something I wasn't sure about.
Okay,
so I would never just sort of take the first answer.
Okay. So let's ask something that you know the answer to. I'll type it in, okay? It could be something about the Bible, or it could be something about science, or it could be just something about any philosophy. What would you like?
It's just okay. Well, it's just okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know because if I ask, see, I don't. What is the point of it? I'm trying to ask, because even if it says, let's say it's Jesus the Son of God, yeah, blah blah blah. It says yes.
It doesn't have to be.
Then I wouldn't. It wouldn't change the way I think about it personally.
Be about Germany. You want to ask me about Germany? Ask something about Germany that you know to be a fact that maybe not. I don't know. Just something that you know the answer to. It doesn't have to be about Jesus. It doesn't have to be about any. It can be about any question, whatever's on your mind.
Okay.
Whatever you think will produce a wrong answer out of. Could produce a wrong answer, and you know for sure that it's what the right answer is.
I mean, it's like I don't know. I just say I can't. I mean, you choose one then, because it's your thing. Like, you choose something. You say, you choose something and see if it comes up with. Because I just feel silly doing that. To be honest, it's like, I mean.
All right, let me ask you a question.
All right.
Do you think that we're living on a flat Earth? If I asked AI, are we living on a flat Earth? Should the answer be, well, some people think we are, but some people think we're not, so we can't be. Whatever.
No, I think it will say, according to science or something, the Earth is round. That's what you come up with.
Do you think that's what will come up? All right, let's check it. All right, let's test it. There we go. Now, can you read it? Can you see it?
Oh, of course. I'm on my handy. No, it's too small. I'm on my mobile phone.
All right.
No, I can't. It's too small. Even with my glasses on.
How about that?
Yeah, just about. No. Can you make it a bit bigger? Oh my God. Yeah, so many. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So no, we are not living on a flat Earth. There you go. There we are.
Yeah, but that's like saying yes, God exists, and then not explaining why. But this doesn't do that. This says no, we're not living on a flat Earth. But then it goes on to explain how it comes to that conclusion.
Yeah, and then you have to look at the sources.
No, it's all there in one paragraph that you started to read. Just carry on reading it.
Sorry. Okay. Well, I thought that was sufficient. Earth is a sphere. Well, I can just about make it out. I mean.
Okay. Well, let me try. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but what is the point of it? No, we're not living on a flat Earth. Earth is a sphere. What is that after that? Fact, sometime, what? Confirmed by, sorry, I can read better than I'm just struggling with the,
Don't worry about it. Just
what?
don't worry about it. Just go for it.
Centuries of scientific evidence, including what? Satellite imagery, something else.
Gravity
So,
studies
yeah. There you go.
and basic astronomical observations.
Yeah.
The flat Earth theory is a misconception contradicting scientific consensus.
Mhm.
All right. And now
Yeah.
they carry on by bringing up some key points of how they know that the Earth is a sphere. But
Yeah.
before we carry on, I'd like to ask you, do you think the
Yeah.
Earth is flat?
No.
Oh,
No.
thank God for that.
No, I don't think the Earth is flat.
All right, good. Well, then I don't have to explain to you why the Earth is not flat.
No.
But I just wanted to show you what kind of an answer you'd get
Yeah,
from AI.
I mean, I
And
think
AI, hold on.
we know that, don't we? I mean, Sydney,
AI
come on.
didn't tell you or
What?
support in any way that the Earth is flat. So
No.
you can trust AI.
No, no,
All right.
no. I mean, even this is the thing. I mean, if you did you go to university?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Right, then you should know a little bit about, referencing and finding your sources and looking for primary literature. Literature that's been written without a bias, right? Without somebody being paid to maybe push a certain viewpoint. So that's kind of important. Not with every topic, but with some of the more complex ones. So it's always. I know that Google does go through various sites, but it's interesting to check what those sites are as well, because some of those sites aren't exactly scientific, aren't exactly reliable. So it's always good to check that. But I know, I mean, I don't know if that's most people I know do that. I don't know.
Well,
I
let's see.
think it's unusual to sort of say, oh, well, that's what Google says. That's
Yeah,
what we're going to take.
I have an idea. If Jesus existed, there would be contemporary writings and accounts of his existence, right? That written in the time.
I mean, yeah, well,
Okay, so let's
they
ask.
have, yeah, and the Bible obviously must not be discounted.
No, the Bible came way after Jesus. Forget about the Bible. Okay, so
No, because of the
if
first
I
day.
ask AI, if I ask artificial intelligence, why are there no accounts of Jesus?
No, you mustn't. No, that's wrong. That's a leading question.
All
I
right.
think you should. I think when we ask, we should
Are
keep
there any
the questions
contemporary
neutral.
accounts? Okay, so all right, I'll change the question. Are there any contemporary accounts of
Yeah,
Jesus?
there are some.
Is that okay?
Yep, I think that's more, neutral.
All right. So the first thing that is outlined says there are no known surviving historical documents or archaeological artifacts from Jesus's lifetime, roughly from the year 4 before the Common Era until about 30 or 33 of the Common Era that directly mention him. While the New Testament Gospels are central, they were written 30 to 60 years after his death, and
Yeah.
independent non-Christian references such as Josephus and Tacitus appear near the end of the 1st century, so like 70 years later. Okay, so none of these are contemporary.
Yeah.
There are no direct contemporary mentions of Jesus. And then if you look there, it says key details on where he gets his sources, right?
Mhm.
So he said, no direct contemporary mentions. No one who claimed to
Incorrect.
personally know Jesus wrote about him in a surviving document, including Romans or Jewish contemporaries. So that really answers the question, doesn't it?
Not really, no. um, um, One reason is that sometimes Google will throw you up the things that you kind of been before, so it kind of gauges the answer to your what it thinks you're gonna be happy with. Always a difficult one.
Whoa. How does Google know what I'm going to be happy with from a question?
From
Are there any contemporary accounts of Jesus? How would that indicate to Google what kind of an answer would make me happy?
From the other things that you've put in before. I mean, I'm always very careful with that. I try to be.
Okay. Let's just address the question. Are there any contemporary accounts of Jesus? It says no direct contemporary mentions, no one who claimed blah, blah, blah. Is that fact? Just not fact?
No, I actually think there were some actually. I mean, obviously, it's one of those things that people like to do. I will discount the Bible, where the Bible is like, there's 4 books written about Christ from people who are eyewitnesses, sort of within the first, 60, 70 years after his death.
No, it doesn't work that way. You can't write a book in 1960 as an eyewitness to what happened in the year 1900.
Yeah, it's when the first. Yes, it's when the first.
You can't do that because you weren't alive.
Well, that's what it is, though. And when the first eyewitnesses were coming to the end of their lives, they were writing down their accounts before they died off.
Then there should be 500 books, because there were 500 eyewitnesses, right?
Sorry, what?
There were 500 witnesses, weren't there?
No.
How many witnesses?
There were witnesses there, yeah, at some stage,
Right.
through.
Where's their writings before they died? I want to see. I want to see all of them. And if they didn't survive, then it's not godly.
All of them.
If it perishes and gets lost to history, then it's all man-made anyway.
No, it's when you read the Bible and you know it, you're open to it.
I'm not open to it.
Well, let's say,
What if you read the Bible, but you're open-minded, and you read? If I read the Bible as a work of fiction, I actually get a work of fiction out of it.
Yeah. Well, could be. I mean, to me, when I read the Bible, it's like a living thing. It's like it's miraculous. It's every time you sort of look at something, it can change your attitude for the day. It can teach you something that you didn't know before. It'll make you feel things. I mean, it's like no other book. But of course, you have to.
Well, what part of it? What part do you read that makes you feel things?
It can be any part of it.
No, I'm talking about your experience.
Well, I particularly like the Psalms at the moment. Of course, the Book of Revelation. Because you see like prophecies fulfilling. We're watching that Al-Aqsa Mosque every day.
What's that?
No, on the Temple Mount.
What's happening there?
Maybe the third temple.
Oh, I don't know.
Al-Aqsa Mosque gone. The Arabic mosque.
Of course, I don't know what's going on there though.
You do. You wrote something about it. I saw you. Yes, you did post something. Mm-hmm. You did.
When? Months ago?
A while back.
Exactly. I don't know what's going on there today.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting you to know. I'm keeping an eye on it. But generally, you believe that there will be a third temple on it.
Okay. Yeah. Again, that doesn't answer the question of That doesn't answer the conclusion that, or sorry, that doesn't address the conclusion that there are no contemporary accounts of the fact that Jesus actually was a living person during his lifetime.
Well, I would say hold that one, because I've had these questions before.
Oh, beautiful. All right.
Contemporary, and then there's obviously the question, what was there's the life of other people, like very important people, historical figures. They did the same. They didn't write about them at the time. They did it sort of like, as they were coming to the end of their life, when I thought, oh, we better write something down now, otherwise it might
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
The gospel writers, like Paul, they were coming. I mean, the ones that witnessed Jesus.
Yeah, but Paul is not contemporary to Jesus.
Well, he was a little bit. He didn't
start writing until years after Jesus. Besides, he never saw Jesus. He saw an apparition in the desert.
He didn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How do you possibly take that as an eyewitness? Come on.
No, I wasn't saying that. I didn't actually say that he was an eyewitness, but it was like in the early church. It was right after Jesus had died. He was sort of there. I think the earliest writings was 50 80.
Did Paul ever claim to actually see the physical Jesus, or just the apparition?
No, just the
that's your
best. His life. Yeah,
that's your most solid.
No, we have the gospel writers. We've got Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We've got the accounts of Jesus' life, haven't we?
Oh, come on! If Paul didn't do what he did, if Paul didn't spread the word like he did, or write those messages, or write those letters, there would be no Christianity.
Well, there would be no Christianity without Christ.
There wouldn't be Pauline Christianity.
Well, there would be no Christianity without Christ.
There'd be something.
Well, it wouldn't be Christianity.
We can't tell because it was so long ago that we can't tell what it would be, but there would be something.
Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe,
if the world who accepted the Jesus story, if they said nonsense, how can pure logic says that one thing can only equal itself. It cannot be something else, right? I mean, pure logic. So you can't tell me then that God equals the Father equals the Son equals the Spirit, because it's illogical. So we can discount that right away.
Well, I don't discount things that are illogical for my life. I mean, it's not when I'm talking about the supernatural, when I'm talking about something that isn't like bound to physical rules, and then being logical, I don't know. It doesn't seem that important to me. That if you're not logical, then it's not real. Is that what you're saying? It can't be real unless it's logical.
What I'm saying is, you mentioned the triune. Now, the triune is 3 branches of the same entity being equal to each other, but separate in somehow identified separately. Okay, and it makes no rational sense.
No, it's a mystery. It is fascinating. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's unlike anything else. Yeah. What?
A mystery. It came from the Council of Nicaea. What do you mean it's a mystery?
No, I think it was there before. I mean, look, you just have to look in the Bible, for example. You have take Jesus at his baptism, right? Jesus at his baptism.
How do you know he had a baptism? Who was there?
Well, John the Baptist was baptizing him.
How do you know that John the Baptist was baptizing him if there are no contemporary accounts of anything that happened in Jesus'
life? If you accept that there were, and if you accept for the gospel accounts. But may I speak what I wanted to say, because it was coming back to the Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, when he was baptized, he was Jesus, the Son, was standing in the water, was being baptized. Then there was a voice from heaven, "This is my Son in whom I'm
Right.
very pleased." And then the Holy Spirit descended on him like a dove. So we have
Find
those,
out about that? How do you know about that particular incident?
because it was recorded by the gospel writers.
I'd like to know which one, where. Show me. Or I could actually just
You want to?
I could
Okay.
ask
Well,
AI, right?
you want?
But then,
No, I'm my Bible.
well, yeah.
You
I
want
mean,
them right? Okay. Wait. I'll let you know.
and
Give
if
me
it's in
1
the
second.
Bible, hold on a second. If it's in the Bible, we know that it's not contemporary. So I'm looking for
Well,
contemporary. I'm not looking for speculation.
well, so you're looking somebody outside of Jesus being there, something written outside of the Bible that
Yeah,
were there at the
I
baptism.
need to know.
So you
I'd
don't want
like to be comfortable with understanding that other than the spiritual picture, image of Jesus that is in everywhere, where, and the claim is that Jesus was a human, where is that evidence that there was a human being that was a God?
well, first off,
Human being became a God. Besides the stories that were written decades later, where is the evidence? There is none.
well, apart from the fact that there's like many thousands Christians, our calendar, whatever you may say, is in the name and Anno Domini, yes,
Hey,
before
listen to me.
and
Melly,
since.
Germany.
So what? Why do the common era sound is counted since the birth of Christ? Then tell me that. Why do we have 2024? Since when? Since when?
Since
2024 years since what? 6 years since what?
well, as you saw, Jesus was born in the year 4 before the Common Era.
Yeah. Okay. Give or take 1 year. What?
2024
Roughly.
and 2024, or 2024 years ago, was started at one, at one on the of the Common Era. So what's your correlation? There's no correlation other than the end of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire
It
was
wouldn't.
kind of civilizing its territory.
That's not where they're counting from. No. 2026 years.
It doesn't matter. It's
Well,
irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
kind of is. Because if you're looking for evidence outside of the Bible for that Jesus existed, that our whole calendar is counted 2000 since the birth, at least roughly his birth, is kind of.
Are you saying that the church produced the calendar?
Well, we're counting since.
I'm asking, where did the calendar come from?
I think wasn't it switched over to Gregorian? I don't know. I don't want to say something. I know it's the Gregorian calendar, isn't it?
The Gregorian calendar is something else.
Something else?
Yeah. The calendar we use was essentially designed during the time of Caesar.
Well,
now Caesar,
whatever, but
Caesar was long dead before the alleged Jesus was supposedly born. So your question about the date doesn't make any. It doesn't matter. It's got no.
It's 2000.
It's got no relevance to whether Jesus existed as a person.
Well, it kind of. Okay, you might not accept it, but it is kind of, evidence.
Because there's no evidence.
Well, if we're counting since the birth of Christ, since the birth of Jesus, that's where we're counting. That's why it's.
For all intents and purposes of this discussion, because there's no contemporary accounts of Jesus, there is no Jesus.
Well, that's not true. There is. I mean, he was recorded by as they were in the census, because Herod, they fled to Egypt, didn't they? Because Herod was trying to kill all of.
What year was the census?
Right. Wait a minute.
I could ask AI.
Well, you can Google it. It's not that I don't Google things for things like that.
I'm going to Google it, all right? Don't worry about it. I'll Google it. Okay, so what year was Herod's census? What
year
did Herod conduct a census? There is no record of Herod the Great conducting a formal kingdom-wide census, as he was a kind king and not a Roman governor, while Luke chapter 2, verses 1 to 3 links the birth of Jesus to a census. The documented census of Quirinius took place in 6 AD, nearly a decade after Herod's death in 4 BC.
Right. I don't. Well, I've got.
Right. So your Bible.
No, it's not in the Bible. I mean, so yes, it is in the Bible. And then wait a minute.
It's debunked.
Census of Herod.
It's debunked.
What do you mean it's debunked?
There was no census, is what I'm saying. You said there was a census, which was.
Well,
let me
finish. A second.
Let me finish. You said there was a census. You said there was a census that is evidence of Jesus.
Yeah.
I looked it up. There's no census.
And you can't just. You look one thing up. I mean, you can't just look up one thing and say there was no census.
I didn't look up.
Can we just? I'm looking at the moment. The census of Herod refers to historical and biblical debates surrounding the census of Quirinius, described in Luke 2:1-2. Okay, Herod the Great. While the Gospel of Luke associates. Yeah, well, where's that from? Let's go down.
Yes. You want to?
Exactly what I mean.
There you go.
That is exactly what I mean. Slaughter.
What are you looking?
I'm just looking. Like down the list of various ones. Does the Roman census prove?
How much reading do you have
there? Yeah, no, I won't hold you up for too long. Hard consensus.
Take your time.
Yeah. I'm just looking through quickly. There was a census, right? Okay. So we had the Great was Wait a minute, because he was trying to kill all the firstborn as well. Yeah, all the sense. Right. See, that's when you have to start looking a little deeper.
I'm waiting.
Oh, well, sorry. It might, it might take a while. So, I mean, these are sort of things that clearly you can't just sort of go, oh. I haven't got. It doesn't say it here. It doesn't say, my first.
You're clearly biased. I'm trying to.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to see. But I know from experience that you have to dig a little deeper sometimes, because there's a lot of stuff sort of that's popular, that comes up straight away, which is not necessarily,
Well, you came up with a question. You said that Herod conducted a census, and that
yeah.
proves.
I mean, I don't
Let
think
me
it's
finish.
important.
Stop. Let me finish. You came up with a question. You said
Mhm.
a statement that said Herod did a census, which proves that Jesus was a human being. And I went and I put exactly that.
example.
What year did Herod conduct a census? And the answer is there was no census by Herod. Okay, so instead of you saying, well, okay, I guess the history books are correct, and I'm not quite sure what I'm talking about. You're trying to argue with me now against the history books by giving me some kind of an excuse that I've only gone to one source. I didn't. I went to AI. If you know
Yeah.
how AI works, you'll know that there are multiple sources that AI researches in order to come up with that one answer that it just gave us. Okay.
Right. But yeah, and I mean, the thing is, you are posing a question. You're having a problem. If there is no contemporary whatever record of
It's not a problem.
although there are, but they're not acceptable to you.
There's
That
nothing. There's no.
the Bible
You know
itself.
very well.
The fact that. Mm-hmm.
You didn't. I don't like it when you twist my words, because I never twist your words. If I repeat something that you say, I try and repeat it word for word. Okay, and I don't like it when people do this kind of stuff to me, where you twist.
I'm not doing anything intentional there, Sydney. Honestly,
What I'm
sorry.
saying to you,
I really am not.
to you is, we asked the question,
Mm-hmm.
right? Are there any contemporary accounts of Jesus, right? And there are no temporary accounts of Jesus. And you're trying to argue with me that, yes, there are. And what you presented to me as one piece of evidence is the census that we just debunked doesn't exist. Is there anything else you have?
But you can't now, no, because I'm still looking through. You can't just kind of go. That's really bad academic discipline, honestly, and that really is. I'm sorry. No university would accept that. And you'll be in trouble. You would really be in trouble.
I just want to point your attention to the fact that this is a YouTube channel, not a university.
Sorry, what?
This is a YouTube channel and not a university. Okay,
yes, yes.
Just in case it was indistinguishable to you.
I'm just saying, that there are reasons why we don't sort of go, oh, doop-de-doop-de-doop, yeah. Well, that's done then. That's Christianity over and done with. You see, I don't have it's not me who's having a problem with that. There not being apparently no and I may have to prepare myself better for it when it came here unprepared of a contemporary record of Jesus. I mean, it's I think the Bible is historically accurate. I obviously I believe in it, so I don't have an issue, with there being what there is, as proof that Christ exists, or existed, or was a historical figure. It's you who's having a problem.
I don't disagree with you that the Bible could be a historical document in terms of places and community at the time, but there's no way that the Bible is in any way a supporting evidence for the actual existence of a physical person called Jesus Christ, who was also a God, and then who died and is God now, that you believe in. I mean, there's no evidence of that anyway. It's all made up.
Well, no, it's not.
And the reason that I want to one more sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that bothers me most, not that you believe in it. I don't care that you believe in it. That's fine. Go ahead and believe in it. But what bothers me most is that you and every Christian out there will approach me and try and convince me that what you believe is correct, and that is
No, well, I can't.
that is not
God
very.
has to do that.
You have to.
God,
That's part of your. You have to. The Bible tells you to preach,
no. Yeah,
to spread
I
the
preach
word,
you the good news.
to
I
spread
preach
the
you,
good news. You have to do that. You
but I
obviously,
can't convince you. That's what God does.
but
God
nobody
changes
wants to
your
listen
heart.
to it. Is what I'm saying to you. Nobody wants to listen to your stupid, not yours, but the Christianity's nonsense good news message.
Really,
Nobody wants to
really.
listen to it. Yes.
It's the largest religion in the world. I mean, it's, people are still happy to listen. Some
Oh,
people are very happy to listen.
of course I listen. I listen to anything. But the thing is, where I listen and
Yeah.
ask questions,
Mhm.
you, and I'm not saying you specifically, but you, the Christian world,
Yeah.
doesn't listen and doesn't ask questions. The Christian world,
Mm.
because of their presupposition of an irrational concept,
Uh,
the acceptance of an irrational concept
uh, uh,
as a
uh, what?
presupposition makes their whole thinking very sort of vertical. It's like
Okay.
at the bottom,
What?
God exists, and then they think upwards from there. There's no wide thinking. Well,
Right. You think we don't have wide thinking.
yes, I absolutely do, because you start off with the presupposition that God exists. There is no debate. God exists. End of story. Don't even question. No, don't say
No, you
God
can
exists.
question. Well, of course you can question. Yeah. I mean, of course you can question. I mean,
You
you
can
don't
question.
because of your brain.
Have you ever questioned whether God exists?
Well, I haven't questioned his existence since he's come into my life, kind of, and he's sort of there every day, and he's sort of I can experience him, like love, so I haven't. I'm talking on the phone. Since I don't haven't that's not changed since then. Hello.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to make a point.
Oh, is there no point? Am I not making a point? No, not a sufficient one.
Oh, it's that I asked you a question. I'm trying to get the answer to my question, but not.
Okay.
But you just say something that I don't know what that you think I want to hear, but you
Not
must
acceptable.
know that it's not convincing me.
Well, that I can't convince you. I mean, I can't convince
No,
you.
you can't
I mean,
convince me, because when I say something like there is no contemporary evidence for the existence of Jesus Christ, it's a fact. There is none. Yet you argue with me. And all of you Christians, you argue with me. Yes, there is, and then you have absolutely no evidence. You bring up stuff from way later on. I mean, nothing. You don't understand. If you don't understand the word contemporary, I think this Sunday in every single church, every priest, every preacher should explain what the word contemporary means to the congregation.
Okay. I don't know the word. Okay, you think okay. Fine. Clearly, I don't understand the word contemporary.
No, I'm not saying I'm kind of being a little tongue in cheek, but what I'm saying is that whenever I say I want contemporary evidence, I get the Bible, but Josephus plus this plus that.
Yeah.
From 100 years later, from 70 years later, from 60 years later,
Well,
that's not contemporary.
Well, it's with every other historical book. It's it's acceptable. Every other historical figure. It's acceptable that people wrote, even sometimes also long after their death. Not even at the end. Not even within 100 years. Sometimes
it doesn't matter. We're talking about God. We're talking about God here.
Yeah.
So why are you equivocating Jesus Christ to just every other historical figure, and really he's not God?
No,
So
but you're trying. I mean, you're
a Freudian slip. That's a Freudian
no, because
slip. Yes.
No, but you're not
You just
accepting
said
spiritual ones.
Jesus Christ is an historical figure, and you just compare Jesus Christ to every other historical figure,
No,
because
I'm trying for
that's
you.
all that you got.
For you.
There is no evidence for God or anything.
Since you're not accepting the spiritual arguments, like the faith ones, the ones that are a bit illogical and not quite, as
The
you.
faith
That's
argument is
what I'm
not
saying. I'm trying to.
I'm not arguing about the faith thing. I'm arguing about the fact that Jesus Christ does not exist, never existed as a human figure. It's always been a faith figure.
Well, we have to agree to disagree on that one. That
I don't disagree. I'm right.
We believe, I mean, it's a reality in my life, and it's kind of it's marvelous, and there's some things I don't know. It's what can I say? It's like, I don't know, love. Does love make sense? Can you explain it? But it exists.
We're talking about God. We're talking about God.
Huh? Well, God is love.
Oh, is God love?
God is love.
Oh,
yes.
So God must love the Holocaust. Okay, is that the way it works?
Sorry?
The Holocaust. God loves the Holocaust. God loves
no,
what the Jews must be.
No.
Now I understand why you love.
No. Well, how do you work that one out?
You say God is love, and the Holocaust happens under God's watch, so it must be it must be an act of love.
But we're in a fallen world, and he's done everything that he can to sort it out, and we're heading towards the end times coming, and one day it'll all be rectified. I mean, sin entered the world. Unfortunately, a big problem.
Why should I believe that?
Why should? Well, I would love you to believe that, because it's just
Why
I
would
love
I?
to be in heaven and have a wonderful experience of God in your life. I'd love that.
There is no God. God doesn't exist. Did I not make myself clear?
For you, it doesn't, but for me, clearly it does. So,
so therefore, it really is just in your mind.
No, it's not just in my mind.
Well, then why doesn't it exist for me?
So, well, because you obviously haven't met. I mean, I pray that he will reveal himself to you. I do pray that. Actually,
you didn't see him in real life, did you, or did you see him in your
mind? In real life, no, I didn't. I didn't have a vision of God as such.
So when God first introduced himself to you, was it with your eyes closed and in your head, or was it somebody coming up to you and shaking your hand?
That's a very good question. I guess it's when you, and I'm sorry to do the softy sloppy thing. I guess it's a little bit like when you first feel. I guess it is a feeling when you feel love for somebody, when those kind of feelings sort of all of a sudden, all of nothing, all of a sudden are there. It's a little bit like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's I can't pinpoint exactly. I was a young. For me personally, it happened when I was 17, and I'd gone to England. And people took me to church there. And yeah, it was just like that. Sort of like a presence came into my life.
All right. And that is very relative to your life. I got it.
Yeah.
And as you have obviously it's internal to you, right? I mean, you don't go to a particular spot and speak out loud to your God. It's an internal thing.
Well, I do speak out loud sometimes, but only when I'm on my own. When people are around.
Yeah. Again, we all speak. Yeah, that's fine.
So, and of course, you meet other Christians. So it is external. It's not just internal.
Right. Okay. It's a community. I got it.
And obviously, the way you live your life, I guess.
And this is the part I don't understand. What do you mean the way you live your life? If you live your life and you obey all the laws of society, does that mean that if everybody does that, or if anybody who obeys the laws of society, does that make that person a good Christian?
It's, I guess, in relation to being good to your neighbor, and looking after your fellow man.
I can do all that.
That,
right.
that
but
is something.
I'm an atheist, yet I'm a good Christian. You see how
I believe that morality can exist outside of religion. I do believe that, yes. I believe there can be something like social cohesion and so forth that can keep you together.
Okay. So we're never going to get anywhere, are we, on this issue of...
Whoops, sorry, I was just... sorry, this cat come on and came into the room. It's all good. Sorry, well, if it's a case of, I mean, you can't really, can you? Something like faith, it's very difficult to sort of say, I can, I guess, argue until the cows come home. And it's something that has to travel from the head to the heart. It's something that has to become really.
I don't know why you say that Christianity is love. When you're from Germany, Germany is a very Catholic Christian country and has been for hundreds of years. Yet they kill the Jews not less than 100 years ago. How is that love?
Well, that obviously is not love. It's obviously really
so Christianity is not love.
But I mean, that's the reason why Jesus came. We had a problem when sin entered into the world.
I'm talking about the Germans. Your man Hitler.
Yeah.
He represented the German way of thinking.
Well, it's not the German.
It certainly was. It certainly was in 1930s.
Yeah, but it's not a specific German way of thinking.
German Confederation in 1871 or whatever. That was the way the Germans thought about the Jews. They hated the Jews. They were very anti-Semitic, and that is why Hitler was able to come to power, and everybody was happy with anti-Jewish laws. It's fine because that was endemic. It was engraved in.
No, I don't think so. That was then you'd have to say it about other European countries.
No, I don't. Because the Holocaust was a German. It was a German deal.
Yes, but I mean, there were Jews were being persecuted in other and exiled and thrown out.
For example, where in 1930s were they being?
Not in the 1930s. No,
I'm talking about the 1930s. Why let's stick to one topic.
Yeah,
Germany hates Jews and always has. And
I would not say that. I don't. I mean, no. I mean, I can't say that, and that's.
I can't. I mean, that's that. I can't.
Not well to say that. My nationality makes me anti-Jewish. Is a tough one.
Your nationality is a Jew-hating nationality.
No.
Yes, you Germans.
No, we had a period in our time.
100%. And I'm not talking about you specific, but I'm talking about the unwashed masses hate Jews.
Well, at the time, there was a period of time when anti-Semitism was, it was rife, and it's scared. It's very scary when I see it happening. Again, in so many.
Is it happening? Huh?
Well, when you
see it happening in Germany? Whoa.
No, not really. Here's more in the state. Really, I can't say. I mean, it's illegal to deny the Holocaust. I mean, you can get into prison here in Germany. It's actually you're breaking laws if you're a Holocaust denier. So what I hear sometimes in those in chat rooms, from the US and so forth. I think, my God, surely not. Can't say that. It's horrible. So let's not ever go there again. I mean, and no, it's not.
History is history, baby.
Yeah, and lots of
You
horror
can't deny your
stories.
history. You can't deny your Nazi past.
No, I'm not trying to deny it. I'm not trying to
And
deny
why
it.
was there a
But I think
Nazi
it was
past? Because there was a Nazi, because the German population was essentially very, very, very Jew-hating. Very,
well, I don't agree with that. And the Jewish people were here for a long time and were very integrated within German society. I mean, and if that, I don't think they would have been here for that long
listen,
and been so
you
successful
got it
at that.
wrong. You got it wrong because Germany meant because Jewish emancipation in Germany was actually a thing, was actually a legal thing. Jews got emancipated in Germany. You're right. They were allowed to do anything. They were allowed to get into society. They were allowed to become teachers and doctors and lawyers, and they were just allowed to do it because they were Jews. But the German society didn't like Jews.
That
is why,
true.
as soon as Hitler said, Jews are banned from this and Jews are banned from that, there was no uprising. That's for sure. There was definitely a concentrated support behind Hitler's anti-Jewish laws by the general German population who hated Jews. It's in their DNA.
Yeah, no, but see, that's there's a. You can say that there was a time when anti-Semitism was rife and led to some horrific things. But you can't say that it's part of all German makeup to hate Jews. That's just not true. It just isn't. It was a period of time.
Based on my experience, both.
Well, I'm very sorry if you've had bad experience.
Based on my experience, both outside of Germany and inside of Germany with Germans, I stand by my claim.
Well, I'm very sorry if somebody was if a German person was anti-Semitic to you as for being Jewish.
Yes,
that's
more than once,
horrific.
More than once, different generations and German.
Wow. Well,
the one that shocked me most was the one who was my age.
That is shocking, and I'm honestly never come across that.
It wasn't even in Germany; it was in my hometown.
Right.
So
well, that's horrific. And I've just honestly never come across that. I've never come across anybody saying
that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Well, it's. I've never experienced it at all. I've never seen anything in any other person as long as I've been alive. I've never heard anybody talk about it. I've never been taught. I've never seen anything on television that was anti-Jewish. Nothing. I mean, it's just, and I've never felt it in myself. So it's kind of, I'm thinking, wow, that's sad to think that. I don't think there's something like that in any nationality. I don't think there's something inherent, just because you're Italian, you're like that. All of Italians are like that. I don't think that is especially. Sorry?
We're talking about Germans.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't.
What you mean when you say Italians are like that? That doesn't mean.
I don't think there's attributes that you can say, especially something like hating a race that you can say is part of
Germans hated
the German makeup.
It's historical. No. The Germans hated the Jewish race. It's a matter of history. It's not. I don't think you can say that. You don't have to say that for it not to be true.
That was a period of time when they were persecuted, like other people throughout history. Other people groups were persecuted by other people groups throughout history.
You're talking Holocaust here, sweetie.
Yes,
Holocaust. And if you're saying that other people were persecuted and the Jews were persecuted and it's all the same,
no, I didn't say that.
I don't think you're on the right track.
No, I didn't say.
You're on the right track.
But I didn't say it was all the same. I just meant there were.
You're always trying to equivocate. You try. Well, the Jews are, 6 million Jews were killed by my Führer. Who we don't hate Jews. None of us Germans hate Jews. Just Hitler hates Jews. Nobody else. You don't have a grasp of the hatred in your own culture of the Jews.
No, because I don't think there's such a thing. I don't think you can say that, because there was a time in German history when we were, there was a particular hatred against a people group. That is going to be part of your of that nation's makeup forever, and it's like inherent in you. It's not.
To prove that the current Germany hates Jews, they slap the Jews in the face and they punch them in the gut by letting in millions of fucking Muslims into Germany.
Yeah, that wasn't that wasn't everybody. That wasn't every German's choice. I'm telling you that.
Hating move. Thank you, Germany.
We didn't necessarily want all those Muslims.
They're there. You can't all of a sudden say I didn't want them there.
That wasn't out of hate against Jews.
They are there, and they just like the Germans hate the Jews.
No, you can't say that, and I think you have to be careful. I've not seen that anywhere. I've never heard it before you said it. That that is something. It's like you could say, the American people hate black people. That changed their attitude towards black people.
But it's not true. There's no evidence.
No, but I'm saying it's not
Holocaust. There's no black Holocaust to back you up.
No, but they killed and enslaved many black people.
Holocaust to back up my claim that Germans just hate Jews. It's in their culture. It's in the
no. That you can't. Well, anyway, that's what you think. I think it's a very. I've never heard it before. I think
if it wasn't,
it's a horrific thing to say.
It was the opposite. Germany would never have allowed Muslims into the country, and Germany would be supporting Israel 100%, just like Donald Trump is. But they never.
We are pretty much. We are. Germany is pretty much.
And not only that, Germany has a political party called the Christian National Party or something like that. No Jews allowed. So don't tell me that the Germans.
No, that's not true.
The Germans are they love Jews. Bullshit. But it's not between you. It's not you. It's just I'm just giving you. I'm educating you, I guess, on German attitudes towards the Jews. And I agree. Yes, they were emancipated on paper and all that kind of stuff. But underneath it all, the underlying hatred of the Jews was there in the German population, no matter how emancipated they were on paper.
At that time, which has changed, and it's not part of the German makeup. So,
Islam is now part of the German makeup. Like I said, that's the biggest slap in the face to the Jews that I could ever have imagined the Germans would have provided.
But we didn't take in Muslims because we don't like Jews.
You took in Jew haters, and stop trying to dilute everything I say, please.
But I'm not trying to. I'm just saying, that as a German, that's not how I perceive that we're taking in Muslims because we want to upset Jewish people.
Oh, really? And why did you take in Muslims? Because you want to make the German people happy. Maybe that's the reason why, huh?
No, because they were at the time we thought they were
If you were watching my channel, when these Muslims were leaving Syria and making their way into Germany, I had somebody on my channel at the time who was working in the camps, with all these people coming into camps, and she was working in the camps, and she told me what was going on, and she told me that there was ISIS in those camps and how they controlled the thinking of the people in these. No, they weren't camps, I guess. It was where these new immigrants are being housed. ISIS came in with them, and ISIS and ISIS influenced them to this day.
ISIS influenced who?
The Muslims who came into Germany, who as
well, I mean, then you could say that about anywhere, and you know, that says you take Muslims into Canada, you're taking
That's right, but we don't take ISIS.
Well, we don't take ISIS. Nobody takes ISIS. No, we don't take ISIS. When somebody's associated,
I have first-hand witness accounts. I have first-hand knowledge
of what
we do.
Of what?
I just told you. I said
that we tolerate people who support ISIS. No, that's something that is definitely not. It's going to cause you a problem.
If you
when you with radical Islam,
I'll tell you what. Why don't you listen to what I'm saying before you say anything? And I will say when I'm done. I'll say okay. Say something.
Okay. Okay, you carry on.
Okay, because I'm gonna and basic. I'm just repeating myself because you didn't listen. Back when, okay, so wait until I'm finished. Back when the Syrians were leaving Syria and coming into Germany as refugees, and there were millions of them. This was 2012, something like that, a long time ago. We had the Google Hangouts, and there was somebody who came in regularly, who's a friend from Germany, who was working with the people in these refugees, especially with the women. She was working with the women, and she came to find out that they were being oppressed by one or two or three or whatever individuals from ISIS who were pushing this ISIS ideology on the refugees in Germany, on the Muslim refugees in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And and because she was concentrating on the women were terrified, and they would tell her, and she would tell me. So don't say to me that there was no ISIS in Germany. Yes, there was.
Well, it's obviously ISIS, but it's not something that is encouraged here or would not get you into trouble if found out. Absolutely. I mean, it's an extreme terrorist Islamic organization. Nowhere. Would that
had
be
an office and they were sending out people? No, people who were fellow refugees were ISIS. That's what I'm saying.
Well, there's some amongst them that may have associations with ISIS. I guess there probably is. There's some extremists.
So what I'm saying, it didn't happen in Canada because every single one of those refugees who came to Canada was vetted. And none of the refugees who came to Germany, let me finish. None of the refugees who came to Germany were vetted. So there you go.
What? I don't know how far they were vetted and how tight the regulations were on.
All right, come on in. That's as far as it went. That's it.
But it's not something that would be legal or something that would be kind of okay.
Why you
in Germany
vetting refugees is illegal? Why should vetting refugees be illegal? Of course, you vet everybody who comes into your country.
Yeah, but do you think your Muslim refugees, the Canadian ones, are you affiliated with ISIS? No, we're not. Right, come on in. I mean, how is that something that you
can... excuse me. The Canadians aren't as stupid as Germans. If that's the only question that Germans ask the refugees, then we're way smarter. Because we got a lot bigger, and we only allow Muslims into this country who are educated, who follow the values of freedom and individualism. Irrespective of the fact that they're Muslim, that's the kind of people that we try to let in. That we do.
It's not encouraged in Germany. It's not, as soon as it would be found out that there would be an issue, it's not something that is.
Why the streets of Germany full of angry? Even the police are fighting them. I've seen the video.
Maybe you've been.
Police have had enough of the German Muslims in Germany. You know, when they go, oh, Palestine, Palestine, and they riot and they scream in the faces of the police have had enough, the Germans.
We do. I mean, we don't. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking love it.
I mean, I think German people have, you know, I mean, it was something that I guess people try to be welcoming. They try to be, you know, Merkel let them in, you know, without sort of consulting very much. It's been an issue ever since it happened. It's been an issue of contention, and I just don't. This idea that it's something that would be tolerated or encouraged in Germany is not correct.
Well, the evidence actually. How many of these Germans, these Muslims from Syria, these bad actors, have been deported back to Syria?
I don't have the figures, but I mean, you can. I mean, I'm just looking now here. Germany, Times of Israel. Germany arrests alleged ISIS members on suspicion of crime. I mean, it's
what
just.
Do they deport them back? Hey, I don't think one person has been deported back to Syria from Germany. Not one.
What? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to give you sort of want to say something when I don't know about it. You know,
has even one person been deported back to Syria from Germany?
I think some have been sent back. Not. Again, I mean, there is frustration.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you, Melly.
And I'm trying. Yes,
I'm trying to do it on a more of an intellectual level, but I can't deal with. I think, and I don't know, but I
you think I'm not?
Are not like that. Absolutely not. But they are like that. You know what I mean? You're trying to make me look like an idiot.
No, what's the matter, Sydney?
Yeah, because everything
not at all.
You denied.
Well, because you're saying, but okay, Sydney, you're saying very, it's something, you know. I mean, I'm not saying to you, you know, like Canadians hate. I'm not saying anything negative about it. Saying you all hate whatever, you know, and that's how it is in Canada. Blah, blah. I mean, you're saying I would agree with you if it was true. I would say, sadly, that's the case.
If there was a history of Canadians hating whatever, and there was a Holocaust to prove that Canadians hated whatever, fine, you could say it, but there isn't. So you're the country. Germany is the one with the reputation, the Holocaust reputation, and the Jew-hating reputation. You can't deny it. So when you deny it, you make.
Yes, I am denying it. You know, because it's not. I mean, I don't see, and there's evidence for it. You know, it's not. It's actually there's laws. We have laws, literal laws in Germany.
So
and making anti-Semitism or Holocaust denial illegal.
No evidence. There's no evidence for the Holocaust, of Jew-hating Holocaust. No.
What? No, it's making it illegal to deny it in Germany. No, you're actually breaking the law.
But it happened.
So yes, of course it happened.
And you saying it's illegal to deny it in Germany as if that's some kind of a compensation to the Jews and to the.
No, but it's I'm just saying to you.
What do you mean it's illegal? It's how relevant?
We actually have laws in Germany. Were you to say that, unlike in others, like in America, for example, you can say, you know, I don't believe that the Holocaust ever happened, right? You cannot do that in Germany. You would be arrested. You're breaking that's actually a law, right? And you could be arrested saying that. So there's a difference there. So this is thing about
right there that Germany is a Jew-hating society that perpetrated
that we have. Clearly, that makes sense. Because we have laws saying don't deny what we did and what happened in the past.
Germany
it's not that anybody. Pardon?
Germany has not been a 100% supportive friend of Israel ever since the end of the Second World War, and that's another reason that shows me that Germany doesn't give a fuck about Jews, actually hates the Jews. Because if you've seen in the United Nations some of the positions that Germany has taken against Israel over the years, then you'd probably
against Israel, more so than other nations.
I don't care about other nations. No other nation holocausted the Jews. Germany did. Stop trying to pretend that Germany is one of many nations who holocausted the Jews.
No, but we're bringing in other nations as in what is, as what's happening today, what's happened, that we've moved on, that we're down, it was a period of time, which doesn't mean it's in somebody's, that is actually very, when you think about it, to say something is inherent in a nation.
Yeah, but when you say there was a period of time, that's nonsense. It's ongoing. It didn't just start and then stop. I'm sorry, I don't accept that, because
I'm sorry, I'm saying that it's not nothing that I've ever encountered, nothing that I've ever seen, nothing I've ever myself felt.
For centuries. Don't just start and stop. And Jew hatred was there for centuries. I mean, look at Luther and the Catholics in the 1500s and the 1400s. Absolute hatred of Jews. Come on, and tell me. And then you got, that's in the 1400s, 1500s, you got 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, 1900s. Hitler. Okay, so don't tell me that it was just a period of time.
Yes, it was just a period of time. It was in other nations, in other countries as well.
A period of time of hundreds of years.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something now. Look, I'm not going to agree with you that it's part of my DNA that I'm hating Jews as a German nation. That's not something you can say about any nation. That something is inherent.
I that about Germany, because Germany has left the proof behind.
Sorry?
Germany has left the proof behind that it hates the Jews.
And there was a period of time, yeah, there was, but that doesn't mean for all eternity.
Ghettos,
and you have to punish
Jewish ghettos. You never heard of Jewish ghettos in Germany? Jewish ghettos. Ever heard of that?
Yeah, there were Jewish ghettos.
Okay, but that's not oppression of Jews, right?
So, okay, how about
no,
we don't have. Yes, at the time there were ghettos. Yes,
at the time. What do you mean by at the time?
We don't have ghettos of Jews now, Sydney.
You don't have concentration camps now either, Melly.
No.
You have Muslims in your country which hate the Jews, and you let them in anyway. So let's stop.
The Muslims are everywhere. We didn't let in the Muslims because we hate the Jews. That's really there's no evidence of it.
Nobody believes that.
Well, I think you should ask people whether they believe that. I think you might.
Nobody believes. Listen.
Well, you don't have to believe it, but that's the fact.
Nobody believes that Germany doesn't love the Muslims, because Hitler met with the of Jerusalem in 1941. They loved the Muslims then, and now they let millions of them in 2011, 2012, whatever it was. They love the Muslims now.
No, we don't love the Muslim culture. No, we don't.
No. That's why you got. Listen, Poland didn't even allow one Muslim person in. Hungary didn't allow one Muslim person in. Why? Because they knew that the Muslims were bad news. What did Germany do? All of them come on in. So please stop trying to tell me that Germany loves its Jews.
Germany has absolutely no issues or anything else than any other nation with Jews. It was a history. It was part of a certain time period where certain ideology was prominent.
You say that about 2000 years. You say that about times in the first century, different ideology. Second century, different ideology. Fine, that's no problem. But to come and say that in 2026 that it was a different time, different ideology, when your great-grandparents were part of the German society as well. at the time. So it's
Yeah.
not something that came and went.
Yeah, it was
Maybe
something
in
that
your
came in.
particular family, which is very few of them, there wasn't any anti-Semitism, which I dispute, because in every German family there was anti-Semitism.
I don't know how you can say that. I mean, that, you know, as you can't say that in every German family was. There's people that died, like in going again, people like Dietrich Bonhoeffer, you know, and people.
Your family,
People that never that didn't want to join the Nazi party. That was absolutely a lot of Germans didn't even know that the Jews were what was happening at the time.
Bullshit.
I mean, to sort of say,
then you listen. I've read enough German history to know that what you just said right now is nonsense. If you just said that the German people didn't know what was happening at the time, I know for a fact that is crap. Everybody knew what was happening at the time. Nobody said a word, but everybody knew.
Oh, okay. You know it better.
They smelled they could smell
we could smell. Yeah. Of course. Yes, absolutely.
Crematoriums. They could smell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What I want to ask you, I have a question for you. How many Jews did your family save during the Holocaust?
I don't know. I mean,
well, if they did
honestly, I don't know. My father died when I was just after I was born. I don't know. I don't know.
You did know. I mean, if they did save any, you would know.
I really have no.
I have an idea.
Way of looking back there.
I'll tell you, your family saved 0 Jews.
You know, we never known any Jews. I mean, that's never. You know, I don't know.
So you were exactly because you didn't, because Jews live. You forced the Jews to live in ghettos. There was no assimilation between Germans and the Jews because the Jews couldn't. They were living they lived in ghettos. The Germans
during that time
lived in ghettos. The Rothschilds, they grew up in a ghetto, and that was in the 1700s. So don't say at that time. It's always at that time. The ghettos were a thing. The Jews had to live in ghettos for hundreds of years in Germany, and that was 100%.
No. The Jewish actually is not a fact, because Jewish people actually at that time, and that was partly some of the reason why, because they were in the leading positions in Germany. They had businesses. They were wealthy people. But
they went home to the ghetto at night.
No, there were no ghettos in Germany Jewish ghettos. No.
Frankfurt?
Before no.
Before when?
Before before the Nazi area, before 1930.
There were no Jewish ghettos?
No.
All right, let's go to AI, okay? Or we go wherever you like, but I'm going to prove to you that you're wrong. Is there a history of Jewish ghettos in Germany? Why is that not spelled right? How do you spell that? In Germany. In Germany. Oh, you know why it's not spelled right? Because there's 2 T's in ghettos. Aha. Yes, there's a history of Jewish ghettos in Germany, primarily during the Nazi era, though historical segregated quarters existed earlier. During the Holocaust, the Nazis created ghettos mainly in occupied Eastern Europe to concentrate, isolate, and control the Jewish population before systematic deportation to extermination camps. Okay. Did the Rothschild family live in a German ghetto? Yes. Okay. The founders of the Rothschild family, including Mayer Amschel Rothschild, 1744 to 1812, lived in the Judengasse, Jews' Alley, a cramped and segregated Jewish ghetto in Frankfurt, Germany. The founder resided in a dilapidated tenement house known as Hinterpan until they rise to immense wealth in the early 19th century. There you go. Okay, so I'm right. You're wrong.
Not really. There weren't any ghettos. And there were no ghettos where people were kind of shoved into. There may be a section like you have Chinatown in London, where people sort of when they come and kind of get together and nationalities. You have sections where, but not in that way.
You're falsely equivocating again.
Sorry.
I just read to you.
No, you just said there was a Judengasse. There were like quarters
will you listen?
Where I'm listening, but there was no kind of.
The Judengasse, a cramped and segregated Jewish ghetto in Frankfurt, Germany. Now, when they say segregated, I know because I've read the history of the Rothschilds. Their ghetto was segregated to the point where they had to live in it. During the day, they could go to their office and make millions of whatever money they made. But at night, they had to go back to their ghetto, which was segregated, which was cramped, which was unsanitary, because that's what the German government imposed upon them. The government of Frankfurt or whatever at the time.
Government of Frankfurt is a city.
Yeah, well, back in those days, in the late 1700s, early 1800s, Frankfurt, I mean, the whole of Germany was little city-states and stuff. So I have no idea what Frankfurt actually was then. Was it a city-state or was it a...
No, it was just a city. I mean, just a normal city.
Okay, whatever.
It's not a city-state.
Well, Germany in 1871 or 1870... Before 1870, was hundreds of these little principalities and city-states, or I don't even know what they call them, but hundreds of these separate entities, self-governing entities, and they all merged to form the greater Germany, which is what we know today.
No, there may be quarters in towns where maybe there was like the Jewish quarter, but there were no ghettos for people like behind barbed wire and stuff. No, that's just not the case.
Hold on a second. Where did I say barbed wire? I said,
a
cramped and segregated Jewish ghetto in Frankfurt, Germany. I never once mentioned anything about barbed wire or whatever's in your head. So I don't know what you're thinking about, and it doesn't really
Things were cramped and segregated. I mean, I've never heard of.
I was simply referring.
That was maybe just particular to Frankfurt. I mean, I don't.
Oh, it was maybe particular to Frankfurt, you think?
Maybe something particular to Frankfurt, I don't know, but not across all of Germany as a whatever, as a sort of, put all the Jews in there.
There was no, in 1750, in 1775, for example, there was no such thing as all across Germany, because there was Prussia, massive, and then there's other smaller principalities or whatever they're called. So you can't say there was anything all across Germany, but the German DNA was I hate Jews.
No, that's okay.
Absolutely. And there's a Holocaust. There's a Holocaust to prove it. So you cannot equivocate the Holocaust to anything else. You cannot discount the Holocaust, because that was specifically to eradicate the Jewish nation. The German idea,
which happened in other.
There was a German idea to eradicate the Jewish nation, which was supported by the Muslims, as evidenced by the visit of the Mufti of Jerusalem to Hitler in 1941. Lots of Jew hatred in Germany, just as much as there is out of the Muslim world.
This is something which is part of Jewish history, the persecution of Jewish people throughout history, in various countries, then you would have to sort of say, there is anti-Semitism. We know that the Jews were persecuted in Rome during the Roman times, in the Roman Empire. In medieval periods, there was
where were they Holocausted? The Jews were
Yeah,
persecuted.
I'm not.
The Jews were
Yeah, no,
persecuted so much in the Roman Empire,
we're not.
by the Roman Empire, that they were kicked out of their homeland of Judea and dispersed
Yeah.
into a diaspora,
Right.
around the Roman Empire.
Right.
No, they didn't Holocaust them. They didn't kill them. They didn't
No,
Holocaust them.
but we're not talking about a Holocaust. We're talking about
I'm
anti-Semitism
totally talking about
and
Holocaust.
expelling. I mean, in medieval times, there were several periods where Jews were expelled from Europe. I mean, from various countries
yeah?
in Europe.
Several
Yeah.
times. Medieval times being
In the Second Crusade, 1147, Jews in France were subjected to frequent massacres. The Jews were also subjected to attacks by the Shepherd Crusades of 1251 and 1320. The Crusaders were followed by expulsions. All English Jews were banished. All English Jews were banished in 1290. 100,000 Jews were expelled from France. Sorry?
Do you know why they were expelled in 1290 by King John from England?
Why?
Okay, do you know who King John is? Do you know his King John? King John was the King of England, and he inherited quite a big chunk of land. I think some in France, just like unbelievable. But he lost it all, King John. He lost it all, and I think he went on a crusade. He went on a crusade. Where he got
Did he lose it all? Was he one Orneland?
He went on a crusade to free Jerusalem from the Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
Look at England today. We've got to free the British from the Muslims in Britain.
Well, the thing is, I can tell you there's lots of British people that are unhappy with that situation. And there's lots of people in Germany that aren't happy with that situation, what's happening here.
So what does that, if you're not happy? There's a lot of, if you're saying that in the 1930s, there were a lot of people in Germany who are unhappy with the situation with Hitler hating the Jews.
No, can I make one thing clear?
You never said that. But nobody's ever said that. Nobody's ever said that there was a popular feeling that Hitler was wrong about the Jews. Nobody ever says that. You've never said that.
But the reasons for it, I mean, that there was anti-Semitism that was at the time in Germany, yes, that there was resentment because the Jewish people were wealthy, they did very well, they had big businesses, they were doing better than the average German. There was a lot of resentment there. So that's what I'm trying to get at.
Hold on a second. There are no rich Christians in Germany?
No, I'm not saying that there shouldn't have been rich Jewish people.
There were no rich. Hold on. If everybody who was rich in Germany was a Jew, maybe I'd understand. But is that what you're saying? Only Jews were rich?
No, but there is something about there's something.
Hold on. I'm asking you a question.
There's something I want to.
They were made. Okay, well, tell me.
There was something that the money, dealing with money, handling of money, which was particularly given a role that was assigned to Jewish people, and that they were able. Yeah, did you ever have that pyramid of like social structures of very, sort of like peasant at the bottom, and then Jews was always, outside of that structure, handling money.
What are you talking about? No.
I
wasn't brought up on anti-Semitism.
No, it's part of history that was of European history anyway.
I know. Part of anti-Semitic history, maybe. The history of Jew hatred, maybe.
Well, there's been a great deal of anti-Semitism, but everywhere. I mean,
Yeah, but why
you
do
know,
you say that? Why do you
hmm?
say that when I've said to you many times, Germany has the history of the Holocaust. So,
We
and
have that,
the
yes,
history of
and
the
that's
Jewish.
separate. That's quite
Why do
separate.
you
Yeah.
say everywhere? You're trying to minimize Germany's
No,
hatred. I just don't.
no, I'm not. I'm just saying that throughout the Middle Ages, there was several times when Jews were killed in large numbers, persecuted, not on the scale as it happened in Nazi Germany during the fascist years. No, but there were always as anti-Semitism existed, and the Jews fulfilled a special role. I mean, I have to read up on that. I don't want to just kind of.
Explain to me why back when Jews were hated because they were all wealthy. Why is it that the little religious Jew walking down the street, who's obviously not wealthy, he was attacked? Why is it that happened?
When I mean,
None of the wealthy,
not during the fascist period.
none of the wealthy Jews were attacked in the streets. None of them. Only ones who were attacked were the poor Jews, who for some reason or other you don't even acknowledge because Jews are all rich.
No, I don't know what you're getting at. No, I don't know what you're getting at.
What I'm saying is that you're telling me stories that don't make sense. You're making excuses.
No, I'm not making excuses. I'm
absolutely making.
I'm not. Well, that's his historical fact throughout the ages, the Middle Ages in Europe. There was several times during it where Jews were expelled, where Jews were. I mean, I just read that.
Doesn't matter. We're talking about what are the results of the Jews being expelled from England, and I haven't telling you why they were expelled.
Right. Well,
I'll tell you why they were expelled before we.
Well, okay, when if you already know the answer, but I know, for example, that the way back French ones, they were killed. There were 100,000 or something killed.
I told you that French, that I mean, the English King John kicked the British. I mean, they kicked the Jews out of England in 1290, right? And I was trying to tell you why.
Yeah.
Why? Okay. Anyway, so the reason was okay. So here's this King John. He's inherited a lot of stuff, and during his monarchy, he's an idiot, and he loses. He loses like everything. He's got to fight a war. He needs money to fight a war, and he can't get any more money out of the people. So he turns to the Jews for loans, and he gets the loans from the Jews, and he owes them a lot of money, but he goes and he loses the war. So now he's got no money to pay back the Jews. He's just lost the war. And so he's the King of England. He kicks the Jews out. That's the reason he kicked them out. Okay. So that's not an anti-Semitic thing. That's it's and maybe it's anti-Semitic, but it's not. He didn't kill them. He kicked them out.
Okay.
Because he owed them money. So
that's all good.
Yes, what I'm saying, you're right that there are instances of Jews being kicked out, but the reasons aren't because they were fearing for their life. They were kicked out. They were sent into exile, which is a hell of a lot different than being sent into a concentration camp.
Well, absolutely. Why
didn't Hitler send the Jews of Europe into exile?
So, well, I think there was a period of time when people were able to go.
I asked you why did Hitler send the Jews into exile?
There was a particular point when they decided on a final solution.
Yes, and why didn't
I don't know what he could have. Yeah, people should have gone. People, absolutely.
Why didn't
nobody justifies killing? I mean, it's horrific.
You're the German. Ask me why you Germans didn't send the Jews into exile.
Well, they should have done.
I didn't.
Many Jews didn't want to go. That.
Oh, really? Show me. Oh, I'd love to see that evidence. Show me that.
Well, many people, when the Nazi Party came into power, didn't go. They had.
The reason many Jews didn't want to go into exile because it wasn't an option.
Up to a point, it was.
you've been very vague in everything you say. Up to a point,
I'm not
during the
trying
period
to
you
be.
wanted
I'm not trying to be,
yeah, but
Sydney. I mean, I'm
then
definitely.
then then extrapolate, expand. Up to a point, carry on. Tell me, what do you mean by up to a point? But when you make a statement up to a point and stop, that's that just makes me ask more questions.
Well, I would have to read up. I think
I'm trying to get answers, not a reason to ask another question.
Right. What do you want, a date then? Or,
if that's what you have, sure, whatever you got.
well, I just know. Well, yeah, I don't know. And during that time of fashion, there was a point in that 10-year period where they could have gone. I mean, many Jews escaped to America. Went to America during that time.
When?
And to the Netherlands.
When? Many Jews went to America when?
Just people. Well, okay. Well, I have to look it up then.
I can't talk if you don't have your facts. If you're just
no, I don't have that in my head. Sorry.
If you're just going to make up stuff and throw it out there, then that's not very productive.
No, and that's what I'm not trying to do. I'm looking it up.
You just did.
No, I said there was a certain point. That's why I didn't want to give you a specific date. Because I didn't want to say anything wrong.
Educated and those that could afford to, yes, they might have gone to America. But there are many, many, many Jews, you know that as well as I do. Most people couldn't afford to leave. Most people of any section won't be able to afford to leave, only the rich. And if you
that could well be the case.
If you say that all the Jews were rich and they all left,
no. No. I don't. I mean, I'm sure there were many.
You could have been exiled, but the Germans said, no, we want to kill you, rather.
Yeah, Jews were able to leave Nazi-controlled territory in significant numbers until the outbreak of World War II in September 1939. So immigration became increasingly difficult from 1938, while Nazi policy favored forced immigration until 1941. Options ceased for most when borders closed and mass extermination began shortly after that date. So
it's amazing how exile of the masses turns into a death camp for the masses.
Well, yeah, but my point was that there was that
Jews are not humans.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I've never, I never would say that. I don't think like that. I don't know anybody. I mean, no human being is. And me as a Christian, I'm, the Jews, they're our roots. They're the wine. We are grafted into the wine. Their spiritual home. No, absolutely. Absolutely not have any of these sort of attitudes or thoughts or whatever that you think, especially as a Christian, because it's Judeo-Christianity. We are rooted in Judaism.
But you hate the Jews.
No, I mean, as I said, look, I can't say it because it's not true for myself. Until you said it, I've never heard it, that it's like, at the time, yes, under that political regime, under that ideology, yes, like, it happens where people groups get persecuted because of certain ideologies. During history's happened. I'm not making an excuse for the Holocaust. That's separate and horrific as it was, and it's probably one of the worst things that happened. Although they're saying the figures in the Soviet Union, I mean, you might know more about that than I do, were awful as well. So, yeah. The Holocaust will always stand as a separate kind of thing.
Okay.
Nazi thing, but there's absolutely no justification for something like that for any people group ever.
All right.
Yeah. Not even for those Muslims. No, I mean, that just isn't. I think it's no,
You just isn't
it
one.
can't ever be right. Pun?
Oh no. Yeah. I interrupted you. Sorry.
You on drugs?
No, I interrupted you. Sorry.
Oh no, it's all right. It's okay. It's it's yeah. I'm just trying to because it's a tough one, Yeah, I'd hate, personally, I'd hate to think that it would be in somebody's DNA to hate another people group.
Well, don't think about it. That doesn't mean that it's not a fact. Just you'd hate to think it doesn't mean.
Well,
I hate to think.
said,
I hate to think that 800,000 Hutsis were massacred by the Tutsis in
yeah.
1994. I'd hate to think that.
What was that all about? I mean, I know. I mean, that's yeah.
But it happened.
It happened. Yeah.
It still happened.
It is. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's yeah. So.
But who's crying about it? Besides, who's crying about it? Nobody. Nobody is making it an issue, even though it's a major issue.
Or even even in those countries, no, are they? No, are we? Right, okay.
Don't even know about it.
I must say, is that problem still ongoing?
What do you mean? What problem?
Between the Tutsis and the Hutus, is that still ongoing today?
Well, I mean, 800,000 of them were killed, so I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't follow that part of the world because
No,
that
doesn't
present to me. I don't get any of that on any of my feeds or anything like that. Any platform. No, there's nothing.
No, but it was horrific. Yeah, horrific.
But it was horrific, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody.
Today, I don't. But I mean, I guess. I mean, it's not. I mean, that is like a different continent, different people. I mean, is there some? I mean, can we care about that? I mean, since we were not really part. I mean, as a human tragedy.
Well, then again, during the Holocaust, nobody in Africa cared. So what the hell?
Well,
none of the Africans cared.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess and there is, and I'm not making an excuse. I don't think anybody could have imagined the horror that was taking place. I don't think people. I'm not to making excuse.
It was very.
I don't think they did.
It was very early on that the UK government, US government, and the Jewish community knew what was happening. The Jewish community in America and England knew what was happening. And I'm blaming the Jewish community right now for not saying anything and not making a big issue out of it at the time.
I mean, well, I guess people were unable to even believe it.
I don't know, but I mean, we were talking about millions of people getting killed, millions of fellow Jews getting killed, knowing about it and not saying anything about it in America. And the Jewish community as a whole did not unite and fill the streets with the rage at what was happening in Germany. I didn't do that. Doesn't stop the Muslims doing it today, though, over a rumor.
Right. What would that be?
Whatever the rumor is, the Muslims will go as long as it's.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I don't. I mean,
remember when Hamas misfired a rocket and it landed on a hospital or something and killed a whole bunch of people. Well, everybody went rioting in the streets of the world because they thought that the Israelis did it.
Right. And it was it
It
Iran?
wasn't Israelis. It was actual Hamas who did it, but they went
Oh.
rioting.
Well, you see, I don't get. I'm certainly somebody that says, listen, the Islam, the whole culture. Are you crazy? You know, you're going on the streets, right, for a culture that doesn't value the same things that we do. You know, you're going like, oh, save the Muslims. And then, what if Islam was implemented? There would be no equal um, rights for women. They'd be throwing homosexual peoples of rules and stuff. Are you crazy? Stuff that we've fought long and hard here in the Western world. Stuff. The individual freedom. Freedom of the individual.
You guys
I
have to
don't.
leave your country. What are you complaining about?
So,
They
we're
didn't invade.
we're certainly not
Crashed through
happy.
your border, and your military was overwhelmed. You opened the
No, but we're certainly not. We're not wanting to be, I guess, friendly and open and welcoming to those in need and fugitives.
Yeah.
It clearly shows, we're living with it now, that was not a good thing, because I do believe that culturally Islam does not fit.
Well, if those who haven't assimilated into German culture, who don't even speak German, say after 10 years, shouldn't they be out?
Well, yeah, I think definitely, yeah. I mean, the thing is, we had just before. I mean, you see, we had the Turkish guest workers here in the 60s. That was a completely different thing. The Turks have integrated pretty much. I mean,
what I saw of the Turkish in Germany and in Switzerland, yes, they were just there to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of them, stayed. Many went back to Turkey, but a lot of them stayed. But they integrated into German culture, and they are Muslim.
Well, they're not Arabs. Okay, remember.
And they're not Arab. No, exactly. Ottoman Empire. That's something different. Osmanish. So there is that difference, but people don't make those differentiations, sadly.
I just did.
But and it's sad, because Arabic people actually, as people, are actually really lovely. It's the ideology of Islam. It doesn't fit.
Yeah, but that turns them into ugly people.
Yeah, and obviously we know the old
people are not lovely. They hate. They are hateful.
Well, certainly the Arabs against the Jews, that we do know.
But why? Why not just ignore us and just go on with your life?
Is that I think it actually goes to, isn't it that
the Arabs, why can't they ignore us? We ignore the Arabs. We don't harass them and oppress them and insult them on a daily basis and
it's because you're God's chosen people.
Gentiles at their countries. We don't do anything like that.
Yeah. I think, doesn't it go back to to Esau and to the blessing that was the two brothers in the Old Testament? I have to look that up. The one that gets the blessing and the one that Esau, Jacob I have loved, Esau I have hated, and that's the founders of the of.
Well, it's not really a biblical thing. It's an evolutionary issue of
what.
How come there's Arabs? Where the Arabs come from?
Yeah, that's when those tribes split off. And that is, but God did actually, and this is a tough one. God did actually say, "Jacob, I loved."
Yeah, but God doesn't exist. So that argument doesn't.
Yes. The blessing fell on Jacob and the Jews.
That's the story. That's the story.
Indeed. And when you look at, the history of the, but why is there anti-Semitism? Why is there, is it because people that jealousy, because being God's chosen people, it could be part of it. I
But
mean,
God doesn't exist, so that's not a valid.
and to you, but for the Jews it does, and to us Christians, to us believers, obviously he exists, and he's very much part of the Jewish makeup.
Who's very
much
makeup?
Yeah. And that's the God of Isaac, Abraham, and Moses. Yeah, it's the same one.
Right. And the same one as the God of the crazy Muslims. Same God?
No, that's Allah. It's nothing.
Different. So where does he?
God.
So how does God and Allah? How do they coexist in the same reality? Like, how does that work?
Well, we see how it works. I mean, I don't think it's compatible at all. When you look at
your God exists everywhere and is everywhere or at all times. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Omnipotent. Yes.
Okay. So the Muslim God is exactly the same.
Well, I guess so.
So therefore,
I don't know.
They're either the same God or neither of them exist.
Well, I don't think the Allah is, actually God. I think he's something else, but he's not the living God that we.
You're not answering a question with a real convincing answer.
And my answers are very convincing.
I'll ask you. Let me ask you the question again. The Jewish God is everywhere. The Christian God is everywhere, and the Muslim God is everywhere.
I don't know. I don't know if they believe that.
The same God, or the same imaginary, or the same imagination. They can't. They can't. Again, it's like your triune argument. It's irrational. You can't have three different gods in all places at all times. But two of them are false to, two of them are false to a third of the people. It just makes no.
Well, I don't think. I think there is only one God, and that is, Yahweh. There's only one God.
So how does Jesus become God then if Yahweh's God?
Because they are one.
How?
I don't know how a spiritual being, how God is God, how that can work exactly. I don't. How can we know that? How that works exactly?
Who came first, God or Jesus?
They were coexistent eternally.
So how did God, forget about Jesus, but how did God come into existence?
Well, God being God,
how did God,
by definition, must have always been there.
Is that rational? Does it make sense?
Well, actually, I think it does. I think there is an argument for that there has to be something logically. There has to be something that was always there from a logical point of view.
I agree that there is something that was always there, and that's energy. Energy is the fact that energy is still here, and we can attest to it, and we are energy, makes my argument more plausible than yours.
Well, it may be so that your argument is more plausible and logical. Whether it's true is a different question.
How is that a different question?
Well, whether something that when you talk about,
okay, let me just make sure that we're on the same page. Okay, you've got my argument A and you've got your argument B. right?
Yeah.
And my argument A has no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just a statement. Your argument is always if, or maybe, or what if, or you don't know, or there's always something that is that is it's easy to do to take it out of the argument and still have the basic the basic essential argument right there. Like God doesn't exist, and I don't even understand how anybody conceives what this God is.
Right.
I have no experience. And if I conceive what God is, then there has to be mirrored somehow in reality.
Right.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Right. And if I look at reality, and reality is ugly, and my perception of God is good and beautiful and love, but I see reality as being ugly, what am I to surmise by that?
That there is that element which came with giving us that element of an insecurity, that element of not being, settled, and that is giving people free will, letting them do what they, so that genuine, without free will, genuine, real love can come into existence. So,
real love of what?
Of love from well, in this case, from the creation to the creator, from us towards God.
Yeah, but how does that feel?
For me, or for what?
How does it feel?
What do you mean? For me, as a believer?
Real love. What did you say? Real love as it comes from God, whatever. To God.
Yeah, there has to be for real love.
How does that feel?
How does that feel? For me, great. It's wonderful and all the rest of it. It's lovely. Yeah, that's really nice.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that's what you do, right?
Yeah. I mean, what I'm saying is, if I were if I wanted if I were create a creature and I would not give it a choice to either love me or not, then if I would make it, program it to love me, that would not be real love, would it? There has to be that.
You haven't explained what love is. That was my.
Oh God! What? How that's what? It's the most wonderful thing, isn't it? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. What are you talking about? You're talking about God, love of God, right?
Yeah.
Well, what?
I mean, it's comparable to human love. I mean, when you fall in love, it's kind of similar to that.
So there's, well, human love involves many different categories and also very different levels. And
yes.
So how do you explain the sex part when it comes to the love of God?
Well, obviously, since God, obviously the sex part isn't part of that.
Love is
that particular kind of love.
Excuse me. I've never ever heard love not including sex in the broad category. So
well, for that to happen, you need to have a physical body, don't you? For that part, and I mean,
you're the one who's in love with something that doesn't exist, not me.
Spiritual, but there is a different kind of love, which is a spiritual love, which doesn't involve it, but doesn't make it less Wonderful.
Spiritual love, which means you're in love with nothing.
Well, no, obviously, Sydney, I don't think that's the case.
Then tell me.
No,
I don't understand. What do you mean by
well,
spiritual love?
well, you don't, because I believe in God. I believe He exists. For me, that spiritual love is love with a spirit, with
What
a.
does it feel like?
with God.
How does it feel? Tell me.
It's wonderful. It feels. It's a wonderful feeling. It's like
Is
yeah.
it like
It's
drugs?
can be a little bit like being on drugs. Yeah, it can have those moments.
So Christianity is a euphoria.
No, well, it can have those times when you're sort of euphoric. You know, when you feel
Is that why there's so many Christians? Because they're drug addicts, they're euphoric.
No,
they addicted to the love of God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we all love God addicts. Yes, yes. No, well, no, well, it's difficult to explain because it's with God, isn't it? There's nothing like it. You know, it's not like with love between, not exactly like that. But it's like, you know, imagine your father was the, you know, let's say you're English and your father is the King of England, right? You'd feel very special, wouldn't you? And very honored.
Have you been looking into my background?
Well, you know, could it be? Have you got? You know, is it true? Hey, well then
Yes.
you feel very special, don't you?
Absolutely.
If your father is the King of England, right?
That's right.
Yeah, you'd feel empowered.
I feel like my name was Andrew.
So that's so not fair.
All right.
Oh, you've been giving me a hard time. No, but that's, you know, it's kind of a bit like that. It's like being part of that royal, I mean, that royal family almost, you know, but not quite. Yeah, it's very unique, but it's a very positive, very lovely, very empowering, very wonderful thing. Yep.
So this love of God, is it like a chronic condition in a good way, in like it's always there no matter what, it's always that love is always there, or does it diminish, and how does it work?
Well, it's never kind of, it never sort of forces itself on you. It's never.
Ooh, we lost your audio. I lost your audio, Melly. I lost you. So, folks, for viewers, I'll take this opportunity to let you know that this a conversation with Melly, Germany, is really just an aside from the actual reason for the broadcast in the first place, which was Marcion and teaching G-Man. But we will get there. If Melly comes back, doesn't come back, then we'll get there. Let me see what's going on here. She's still in there. Well, I don't know what happened. So I'll tell you what. Hello, I hear you.
Hello?
There you go.
Am I back?
You're back.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't know what happened. I think that the phone just kind of completely went off.
The audio went off.
Oh, the audio. Well, that's not good. Well, you didn't have the camera, did you? The whole time that would have been good.
We were just waiting.
So can you hear me now? Is it all back? Wait a minute. I'll try and enter the studio.
No, you're in this. Oh, you're in here twice now.
Am I? Oh my god. Wait.
Which one?
Oh. Which one is the real?
I could remember, but I don't know which one.
Oh my god.
Oh, there we go.
Is that better? Can you still hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you and I can see you, just one of you. Perfect. All right, we're back. We're not back. Anyway, so what I was saying, folks, was that Melly, Germany is an example of the indoctrination of irrational ideology into people's brains. Because she's a Christian. And if you've been listening to us over the last, I don't know, hour, whatever, I thought I've been asking pretty poignant questions. And from the Christian as answers, we do not get very detailed answers. Lots of, I think. And lots of, no, it can't be. But we'll give her a couple more seconds because I do want to continue on. She came in at a perfect time when I was just at the end of the first video and was just about to start the second video on Marcion, which I believe that you'll find a lot more interesting than the first one. Also, what I'll do post-production is cut out the this part of it, my conversation with Melly, and upload that as a separate video. So I'll tell you what we'll do is let me present this here like that. Like that. Okay, let's start. Okay, she left. She did leave. So now we're going to start with the second video about Marcion. This is the one by Gary Stevens, who thinks more like I do. And he's more entertaining than the first one. Oh, Melly's back.
Apologize. I don't know what happened. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Yeah. So yeah. Well, I do apologize that my my answers were vague. I was trying my best. I mean,
okay. I knew that you couldn't come up with rational answers to my questions beforehand.
Well, but maybe it's not something you can answer rationally. Spiritual things.
I understand that, but then you have to accept that in that case it's really more of your mind thing. It's not something that is an actual entity. It's an imagination thing on your part and of everybody else who has the same story in their mind.
Well,
what I'm saying is that it doesn't exist. It's not true. It's all your imagination, which is fine. If it makes you feel better, that's fine. But
it makes you feel better.
To acknowledge that what your faith is nothing to do with reality. It's all faith in your head.
Well, I definitely disagree with that, because it's not just all in my head, is it? I mean, it isn't. It's not.
Where else is it?
Well, it's outside of me. It's in other people. It's like, when I pray, for example, I'm the one with the Porsche in the end of the day. Am I not? So I win. I said, I'm the one with the Porsche in the end of the day, so I win.
Okay.
No.
There you
go. No, but it's not just in our head, but it cannot maybe be answered in the way that you would like.
A straight answer, one that is convincing, one that I can understand, and not something that you better believe it, even though it doesn't make sense. But it's yes, it's true, but it doesn't make sense, and there's no evidence, but it's true, and you must believe it. That's the only kind of answer I get from you Christians.
Okay. Right. If that's well, that's you. I mean, if that's how we come across, and that's perceived by you in that way, then we have to think of. But I think it's something, I guess with Christians, you also have to know the person,
No,
and
I
and
just
and
got to
see
know
how the
Jesus.
person lives. Sorry.
I just got to know Jesus, and as far as I can tell at this point, Jesus doesn't exist.
Right. Well, I shall pray that that'll change.
Please pray. That'll really help.
No, you don't mind me praying for you,
Pray.
do you?
Yeah, no, I want you to pray extra hard, please.
I will. I
All right.
will. And in the end of the, yeah, I will. No, because in the end of the day, it's only God that can do that. I can't do that. I can't
If you
convince you.
can't
I
do
can't.
that, then what's the point of praying? You're trying.
What we know, yeah, that He will do, that He will
Yeah, I know.
reveal Himself.
You're praying. If God's already made up His mind, what's your praying going to do?
No, it's not. I don't know. No, God, He can change His mind on things.
So why are you praying?
Mm-hmm.
What's the point of praying?
That He will reveal Himself to you.
You're going to pray that God will reveal Himself to me?
Yeah.
Well, who prayed so that God can reveal Himself to you?
I don't know who did that, but there might have been some people. But I always had it. I purposely, I always kind of had a love, and I always love God in a way. I never did not.
Problem, but when you come here and try and preach and tell me that I'm wrong and you're right and you've got the good news and nobody else has, and you've got
Did I say
everlasting life and that we don't appreciate that.
Did I do that?
Nonsense.
Did I say that I'm right and you're wrong? And
yeah,
did I say that? Yeah.
You say what?
Did I say that, like, I'm right, you're wrong?
Many times. Oh, many times.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm wrong about the Jew hatred, which is in the DNA of the German.
Well, that's I think I think that's a tough one. I mean, that's if you think about it, I think if you ask maybe other people what they think about that, that's a tough one to say to somebody. But look, the fact that I'm not offended and upset and not gonna, I think is evidence that because some people could get very upset about that. But I have got, because I have that love of God in my life. I don't have to get upset about that. I don't have to feel offended.
No, you don't. But you don't have to. You don't have to spread the word, as it were, because nobody's interested.
Well, that's not true. Lots of people are. You might not be, but that's not the case with everybody. There's lots of, and the thing is, I'm only trying to share something that I think is good. So it's not like it's not. I like.
What are you trying to share? What are you trying to share that is good?
Well, my belief in God, the presence of God in your life.
What is it? What are you trying to share which is good? Specifically, that is my question.
What am I trying to share that is good? Okay, sort of your inner peace, like I believe I don't have like those worries and fears so much as other people might have.
Okay,
I feel.
Use me as an example. I'm other people, and the worries and fears that I have, you don't have. What worries and fears do I have that you don't have?
Well, I know some people are terribly worried about their job, their health, their life, where they go when they die, and all that kind of stuff.
Talking about me, your question to me, or my question.
Well, I'm not sure. Do I know you well enough, Sydney, to make a judgment on that? Maybe I don't know if there's certain things that you struggle with or have fears with, or what, or I don't know that. I don't know.
Suppose that everybody has a struggle, and it can only be can be solved through belief in God. Where does that come from?
Well, not only, but I think it eases a lot of, like, I believe that,
Then
because
why
I
are there so many
see.
Christians in emotional pain today?
Well, some of the Christians, I must say, I don't think
All of the Christians are
will,
in emotional pain.
I mean, I don't know anybody who's in the true believer shouldn't be in emotional pain. Let's put it that way. I mean, not. Yeah, it shouldn't be in emotional pain. I'm not saying if there was like a bereavement or something, or they lost their loved one or whatever.
You see, that's the
But
kind of
generally, it shouldn't be.
these are the kind of answers you give me. When I ask you, why are there so many Christians in emotional pain? And there are lots and tons and millions of Christians in emotional pain. Your answer to me is, well,
Where are they then?
your answer
Well,
to
I
me,
don't know any Christians
hold on.
in
Your
emotional
answer
pain.
to me is there shouldn't be any Christians in emotional pain.
No.
So that's that. Then why are we even talking? Why am I asking you a
Well,
question?
you made a statement.
Yeah, but it's a truth statement.
Well, you saying that it's a true statement.
You don't think
Who
any
do you know is a Christian who's in emotional pain? What kind of Christians are you talking to?
man, Shani, Jason,
Oh man, they're so far.
anybody that you know.
They're not. I mean, I cannot believe that they know God and behave like that. I cannot believe that they really have had an encounter with God, because what they do and the way they behave is not compatible with Christianity. Not at all.
Yeah, but
Mm-mm.
Christianity hasn't really been defined very well because there's so many different Christianities that is
Well, you should not
never
like
be able to say which one is true. I believe that Eastern Orthodox Christianity is way more logical than the Catholic Christianity.
right.
So
Well,
I believe in that one. Okay. So how can you
mhm.
prove me wrong?
I'm not right. I don't have to prove you. I'm just.
How can we both be right? How can a Catholic and an Eastern Orthodox both be right?
Well, because basically
They both believe
we
in the same.
believe in the same, basically in the same. I mean, there aren't that many differences there. It's not. It's no big deal.
Melly,
It's just a different denomination, as you know.
Melly,
Hmm?
I have to take my dog out.
Sydney, you do that. Should we call it a day then? A night?
We can call it a
Yep.
day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let the second video run that I was going to play. Going to show because
Okay.
this whole thing is about Marcion anyway. Like I said, post production, I will probably remove our conversation and put it up as a separate video.
Nobody's interested in that one.
Well, I'm sure they will.
But you know, it was good talking to you.
You come back, all right?
I will. Yeah, it wasn't intentional that I wasn't not there, kind of thing. And so it's been a bit mad, and never felt sort of, I have to feel it, when I want to come in there.
That's
and
okay.
but
choice.
I thought I know where you're at, and then I see you. I'm subscribed to your channel and everything. So
no, I like having you on board. It's good.
Thank you. I do like to come and tell you my unconvincing stuff.
Yeah, maybe
now and again.
People join us who may feel
and I pray for you.
Yeah, pray for me. Don't forget about
that. You wait.
I'll wait. All right.
Okay. All right. Okay,
All right.
then. Good night. Bye-bye, people. Bye-bye, Sydney. Good night. Sleep tight. Bye-bye.
Be well.